Edoho with an R at the end.
I see.
So
it's Edo.
Edo. Yeah.
I got it now. I'm getting almost there.
Yeah, within the skin of your teeth.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
No problem, man. No problem. Anytime.
And of course, if Muhammad Ali had a son this old, he will probably be named Gang, as he floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. He's got the quips and the whips. He remains the mayor of Agongi and the most faithful man in Lagos. Questionable?
Yeah.
Yes, let's welcome Tear Gang.
Namaste.
Oh, wow.
Namaste. It's always great being here with Uncle Frank.
Yes.
And Uncle Olamide.
Most faithful man. Is it in the Lagos of Nigeria or the Lagos of Portugal?
In the Lagos of Nigeria.
Okay.
Lucky for me, I don't travel a lot, so I'm always in the States.
But the question is, what would he do outside of Lagos?
I'll have to leave Lagos to find out.
No, well, let's just say whatever happens outside Lagos stays outside Lagos.
Stays outside Lagos. You see, millionaires they have the spirit of,
So how's your week been?
Very hectic. I had this conference, the Lagos Leadership Summit. I did it for 2 days back to back with Bisola Ayola, and I hosted it. So I was actually, very tired from it. It was a great conference. They are developing future leaders of tomorrow.
Fantastic.
They're doing that. So they're sculpturing them for tomorrow's tasks today. And they have a gang of leaders that are coming out very powerful.
Not you, by the way.
Very knowledgeable and everything. And it's an initiative done by Aisha Okwade.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, it's great. It's fantastic.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Busy is always good. Busy, equals to money. So.
Well, yeah. Not the money that I want, but hey, yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. Iro Daniels is somewhere in the building and it's going to be joining us.
Hero!
We'll be introducing him right after this short break.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
The time has come to experience the power of faith, music, and praise. This is the Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m., tune in to catch the pulse-pounding beats and soul-stirring melodies that will elevate your faith and leave a lasting impact on your heart. The Max Urban Gospel Chart Show. Every Sunday from 10 a.m. exclusively on Max FM, where we count down the best 20 urban gospel hits from around the world. Get your praise on.
All right, welcome back. It's the Ultimate Men's Guide, of course, the Black Table, and joining us is a local man with a global appeal, the ambassador of Singleton Town, yeah,
Singleton.
and the commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Single People. And I'm very sure he has an Indian name now. I will call him Amtab. Amtab. I think
Namaste.
Yeah, he's a host, a content creator, and so much more. Big up to my friend and funny man, Iro Daniels.
Thank you.
Iro,
So
you made it.
me. Thank you. I made it. I mean, sitting on the Black Table with legends,
Yeah.
literal legends.
You said a few things 2 years ago on the Black Table.
Oh, yes. I remember that I'm a virgin. You want to have a follow-up on that?
Yes.
Let's get to other parts of the conversation, shall we?
Okay, you tell us down the line. Yes. So have you been, Iro?
I've been good. Life has been good.
Yes. You've been very busy.
Every day.
Hero is I think Hero is the hardest working man in showbiz now. If I'm not mistaken.
Coming from the legend himself, Frankie Double. I'm very honored.
No, I'm not. He does all kinds of things and
Yeah,
everything.
all kinds
Very
of things,
versatile.
exactly. He
Very
does all kinds of
versatile.
things.
Very versatile guy.
Thank you. I
What
get
is
bored
it you
easily.
wouldn't do, Iro?
I just get bored easily. So today I wake up, I say I want to do a stand-up special, and I do a stand-up special. I have a 1 hour stand-up special. I think I showed it to you, Frank, at some point. And my dad introduced me, you know.
Yes,
so
your
I'm
dad
going to release
introduced
it on
you.
my birthday, which is a couple of days from now,
Yay.
26th of April.
Exciting.
So yes, and people would say, Hero, you are a comedian too. I said, don't worry.
Are you not a comedian?
I've always been a comedian since.
People don't know. They just think I came out from
Yeah,
nowhere.
you know, actually, I used to do stand-up comedy. Those days, then I just shut it down. I said, okay, I have to choose. I have to choose my poison.
You're awesome.
What do I really want to? So I just went. I said, from broadcasting, I could branch into. But if once I'm typecast as a comedian, I can't get away from that. So I just
Wow,
stopped
this
doing
is actually very interesting. Hearing you talk about this, there's so much we don't know. But thank you for telling us that.
I like being mysterious. That's the thing. You have to be mysterious. You have to have some parts of you that are hidden. Then when you give them out in just little measure, people would have that respect for you. But if they know everything about you,
True there.
Yeah.
I'm taking down notes, sir.
But you do a lot of things. I'm sure. Even if we tried, we couldn't even know
Can't keep
everything.
up, yeah.
Everything.
Can't keep up.
Not only does a lot of things, a lot of people. You do a lot of.
I'm gonna drink to that.
You know?
I knew that was coming. I just didn't know it was coming that fast.
Does your wife watch this program and hear your
No,
utterances?
she doesn't.
She doesn't.
She doesn't.
Very
But
good.
I do have a story. There was a day his wife was on set, and he was so tamed. He was like a cuddly, lovable teddy bear. He was so tamed. He couldn't say.
Pontificating. You were pontificating.
He couldn't say a lot of things.
I was the real me.
Yeah, you were.
I just had to behave small.
Nice chicken. Anyways, we'll move on to our first segment, which is Would You Rather, and we have a short video, and it says this: Would you take 100 million to stay in Nigeria or Japa? Let's check out the video.
Definitely would collect 100 million naira.
The money is important, so I'll choose 100 million naira.
Japa.
100 million. Already been to the US.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Get me the money, man.
Okay, so most of the people in that video were really young, and I would like to quickly throw the questions to you guys and tell us. 100 million isn't that much of money.
It is, my brother.
Okay, sorry, I take that back. I take that back. I apologize. I
Dude, what
apologize.
do you do apart from this?
Somebody asked me that same question this night.
100 million. 100 million. Wow.
Okay, so
Well, I need to get my paper right.
No.
all right,
Frank,
let me
stop
take
being
it
humble.
away.
100 million is not a lot of money for you.
Especially
That's for him, yeah.
That's less than. If I one season of a TV show, he gets paid more than 100 million.
Euro,
So
I need
please,
which Euro?
let's just.
I'll send you
Which show
my
are you talking about? Is there something that you and my manager know that I don't?
Oh, so you know your manager is involved in this conversation. So
No.
Okay, something's going on here.
Please, let's not be humble about it.
But quickly, Frank, would you take 100 million and
I'm
stay.
staying here already. 100 million is like a bonus.
Okay,
I'm not going anywhere.
Answer taken. Hero, I know your answer, but just for the viewers' sake.
No, but honestly, it depends on what infrastructure is put in place for me in the Japan I'm going to. I don't want to Japan. I'm Japan into the abyss.
Yeah.
So if you're saying, oh, you're giving me a house that is paid off, I'm not paying any mortgage, right? You're giving me citizenship. I can now consider, say, because of the kids, my future kids, and all of that.
The kids,
let me secure the future for them. I'm not saying there's no future in Nigeria, but I might just say, okay, let me ditch the 100
that might sweeten the deal.
But if it's just to carry visa and put me and dump me in one country like that,
with your 100 million,
what is
naira?
You say or Japa? No, that's what I'm saying. I would choose 100 million because what is Japan? I've been Japan and coming back. Japan and coming back.
I think you probably have the same answer.
Well, because now I would have, but I need to play devil's advocate here. You understand? So if you Japan, you have the 100 million with you.
No. You have the 100 million to stay here.
And I should Japan and go and suffer on the streets or wherever I'm Japan to.
When I can groove with 100 million.
I can groove with 100 million.
Yeah, I could do something with 100
Even
million.
if it can't buy you a house, but at least.
But it's a step above.
It can buy you a house.
It can buy you in some places. But I know your frequency is tuned
if you pass Lekki,
Nikon,
VI, and Ikoyi,
you can't afford it. You get a box.
So for me, it's a bird in hand situation.
Yeah,
you get me. I have the bird in hand. I'm not looking at the jackpot. Give me the 100 million here. Now today, I'll make the best of it.
I think most older people will take the money and just make do with whatever.
Oh yes.
What did you just call us?
Yeah. Most older people, not you. I didn't mean you.
We're old.
Okay, let's not use the word old. Let's say vintage.
You're making it worse.
You're making it political. You know what vintage is worse than old.
Yeah.
But vintage means something that's matured very well with
vintage
time.
and ancient of the days is the same thing.
Ancient of days.
I don't know why people look for political correctness when it comes to, you are old. You're old.
You're old.
Remember, I'm older. I'm older than most.
Okay.
But you say I'm old, I'm like, because I have so many people
that are older than you.
Older than me.
Yeah, I get it.
So when you tell me I'm old, I'm like, so what about those that are much older than me? Like, my mom's going to be 70 next month.
Oh, nice.
You get me? I have older brothers. I have cousins. I'm like, if I'm old, what would you say? I lost my grandmom in December, like So what would you say she was? She passed at 91.
No, the old. I think.
So when that old puts you in a certain class, like there's nothing older than old.
No. I think it's from the person's perspective that's calling you old. If the person say, "Hey, wow, you're old," the person is probably comparing their age to yours.
Yeah,
I agree. Because
no wonder.
Of late, I've been having receding hairline. So my hairline just keeps going back, going back.
Welcome to the club.
So I'm just like, you know what? I've accepted my fate.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do a hair transplant like P-Square. Peter.
Oh,
yes, I'm dropping names.
Went there.
It's true now. Peter went to Turkey. And
but he looks great.
He looks. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I'm not going to have a hair transplant.
Why? Why?
You're lucky to still have hair. That's why.
No, his hair was not even bad before he had the hair transplant.
Yeah, I know. It was just probably like mine.
Exactly.
But there's nothing wrong with.
No, you have the money. Okay, maybe because I don't have the money yet.
All right, you're working 5. You're doing 5 entertainment jobs in a day. And you don't have the money for it.
So I'm just. I think
trying to be humble.
No, aging is a beautiful thing. So yeah, I think everybody should embrace it.
No. Look, I embrace it a lot. But some people call me old on Twitter, and then there was one guy that called me old, but he meant to be nasty. Then I said, how am I going to reply to this guy? And you know what I said? I said, well, since age petrifies you, may you never grow old.
Oh.
And the guy said, thank you.
Wow.
What a moron.
You didn't get it.
What a moron.
Oh, my. All right. With that, let's move on to our first quick fire today. A Nigerian pastor's wife and lawyer, Princess Jemima, has advised women who are engaged to ask their fiancés necessary questions about sex, including the size of the penis, and prayerfully demand for answers without compromising sexual purity. The evangelist who gave the advice in a Facebook post about sexual sincerity in the courtship revealed that she almost married a man with a micro penis.
Wow.
Now, I'm not going to say any more, but how do you do that? She's talking about sexual purity. At the same time, she's talking about, you know, women finding out what the sexual organ of their supposed to-be partners is. So I'm a bit lost on this, and I'm trying to ask, Hero, I think you're an expert in this. Because you're virgin. Remember, you said you're virgin, and I'm going to put it out there for those who don't know. The mayor of Singleton is a virgin. So, Hero, what are your thoughts on this particular?
Okay, so first of all, I identify as a virgin. So I think I need to clarify that, right? I identify as a virgin.
Okay.
I also identify as a billionaire, right?
Oh.
In dollars.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
Now, do I have billions of dollars? You might have to call my account officer to find out.
But your identity is all that matters in this
exactly.
case.
You know, and I feel like in this fast-paced world, in a democratic world, if somebody says I identify as a cop, you should respect the person's you should respect the person's choice to identify as a cop. You meet the person, you don't call him a he or a she, you just say cop.
Well, Trump is putting an end to all.
I know.
Putting an end to all.
I know, but on a more serious note, I feel like before you make the big decision, there are several layers of compatibility, and based off of your background, how you grew up, there are certain things that matter to you and others don't. So for a lot of people, religion is a big factor, right? Sexual purity, like you put it. So for some people, they want to experience their man or woman on their wedding night. Others, they just take off the barriers of religion. They just want to test the physical compatibility. And part of testing the physical compatibility is checking if you have sexual compatibility with your partner. You want someone that will be able to satisfy you in the long run. You don't want to go outside, and even though I feel like you don't have cheating, not being satisfied in your marriage or relationship shouldn't make you cheat. If you're a cheater, you're a cheater.
You're a cheater. Thank you, sir.
So, but sexual compatibility is one thing I think couples should test if their beliefs permit them. You know, for people like us that identify as virgins, our wedding night.
Okay, Frank, you were quiet looking at Hero. What are your thoughts on what he said and, you know, the story itself?
Well, I think it's rubbish because, I mean, why are you bothered about finding out about the length and the girth of your partner's manhood before? Why don't you just, you know, because already you are wondering and you're asking questions, already that purity is already smirched. So why don't you just go ahead and do the damn thing and find out? You understand? Because, I mean, thoughts, impure thoughts, they say if you think it, you have done it.
You've done it, exactly.
So why don't you just go ahead and test it all out? What's the issue? And also, I don't like this alienating of people with micro penises.
Micro penises matter.
I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. What's a micro penis, gang? I think.
Whoa! No. Usually, you ask questions to those that have never, don't know what it is, and you don't know how to explain what it is.
So you're saying you don't have a micro penis?
No.
Okay. How are we supposed to find out?
If you can come behind the bar.
No. I don't swing that way.
Anyway,
how did we get here?
Let me tell you how we got here. Mr. Macro decided to ask me.
How did you know? Wait. You know there's this bromance between them. So we think it's a work thing, but it might be beyond that.
No, I'm not detecting gaydar.
No. We were using the restroom before we came in, and you have to stand on the stool. But anyway, so.
All right, nice one.
To that. But in all honesty, this conversation just falls on the whole topic about sex before marriage and things you should know. There was a time on the Black Tip, I think it was last week, we were talking about a woman that found out that her husband had a child, and we compared that to if she had abortions, and there was a conversation that we're having in general. Sex before marriage is very debatable in this kind of scenario. My issue here is that you're telling women to assess a man's size and girth. So let's reverse the roles
and experience,
now,
by the way,
and say, how do men now assess women sexually without having sex with them and believe what they're saying? Because it's the belief. If a woman comes to find out from me if I'm micro or not, and is trying to find out certain sexual things without having sex, all in the realm of getting married, I can tell her and pretend all of those things until she finds out on the wedding night. and vice versa as well.
Yeah.
So like Frank said, to be frank, we might as well test it out now.
Might as well test it
and
out.
if it's good to go, then we're on the right track.
Yeah. I was trying to use your name to, as a retort. You said to be frank. I wanted to say, yeah, you can find out by having a gang.
No. You're really a comedian. At this point, whatever gang says is not the opinion of the men on the table.
But have you guys
That's
seen these
strictly
kids?
on gang?
Different races in a restroom. And then I think they said, oh, the guy from England came and he was peeing. Then the guy from Australia now came and looked and like, okay, so they're peeing. Then another race, the Chinese guy came and then all of them now all looked at this huge dude and it was the black
Nigerian.
guy. It was the
Nigerian
black
guy.
Yeah.
But here's one of my major issues, and I've said this on the show a lot, Olamide. As vital as sex is in a relationship, especially marriage, you should end up with the kind of person that when sex is off the table, your relationship still stands.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you understand?
When sex is off the table.
When it's off the table.
Okay.
Because there's a time in your relationship, like when there's no sex, you've aged to a certain point and you guys are not as active as you used to be. What holds your relationship together? When you're not sleeping with. That's why sometimes they say marry your best friend.
Should sex ever be off the table when it comes to relationship? And at what age does that?
Of course, because
No, anatomically, it's going to go away sometime.
At what age?
But age-wise, forget age now. There's some people that you've had sexual experiences with that's all you wanted to have.
Are you talking to me?
No, not you. I'm giving you, for example,
I'm wondering.
When I was younger,
there's the tension between them. You're right now. I'm seeing it.
No, but here's the thing. I've been with people that once the sex was over, we had nothing to talk about. It was just gone. I was just like, now that I've done this, I'm like, I wish I never even did it because now we have no conversation.
And that's
we have
why
no
you're the
connection.
most faithful man in Lagos.
That's one of the reasons. So in all honesty, sex plays its own part. But when there's no sex, what holds your relationship?
Well, are you saying that all people that are friends then go ahead to have a relationship, including sex and all that? When the sex goes away, are you saying 100% the friendship will still be there? Sometimes
not 100%.
Okay.
Not 100%. But when you decide to commit and all of these things are exposed, when there's no sex, you would understand. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Some marriages starve. Some women don't know that. By starving your husband from sex is actually pushing him into the arms of other people. I'm not trying to justify that. Okay, you claim that your husband has a micro penis. So you're now looking for somebody that has a mandingo. You think that's not going to keep you? By the time he's now sharing that mandingo with other people, your husband is such an expert that he's all over the place. You always have issues with it. You get me?
So, I see that.
You know where I'm coming from. So you get me? So that's the
Jesus
thing.
Christ. I'm surrounded by all of them.
Let me give you an example. You can have a micro, what do you call it?
Okay, so moving on.
Or you could have it, your tongue game could be mad.
Oh, Lord.
So what's
what's the name of this show again?
Sorry. It's called the 11 p.m. Men and Libation.
Whoa.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly move to our next quick fire before gang sets this place on fire. All right, the internet has been awash with stories of lamentations by unsuspecting Nigerians who put their money into the scheme which promised 100% in 30 days. The scheme was based on the well-known pyramid structure which involved referrals to get ahead and gain commission aside from the return of the principal. CBEX positioned itself as a high-yielding investment platform, and we all know what has been going on in the news. People have lost a lot of money. Now, when will people learn that you don't make 100% on your investment without understanding how it works?
Nobody's going to learn.
Man and his greed.
Nobody's going to learn.
So you think it's greed?
Yeah.
I think it's human nature.
It's human nature.
Greed.
There'll always be that
get
gullible
scared.
person.
Whenever I hear, just invest maybe 100 naira and you get 2,000, I'm like, how does it work? If you can't explain how it works, I back out. So now we're talking about, I remember the first major pyramid scheme that really blew up in Nigeria. I think it was MMM. I had loads of friends that lost money.
But did you invest?
I never did it. I didn't have money.
I did MMM.
Okay, did you get your winnings and take off before?
So I think I was one of the lucky ones, right? Because I wasn't greedy. right?
Yeah. Okay.
And the reason why I said it's human nature is, Olamide, I don't think you've been poor in your life. I don't think you've ever been at that point whereby this is the miracle that you've been praying for. I've been on the other side, right? So I can understand the psychology and the psyche, why these guys are doing what they're doing. See, it's the same spirit that gambling has.
Okay.
When you're like, oh man, I'm sure that Real Madrid will flog Arsenal in the second leg.
You're going there.
I am very sure. I can stake it. And I know that I just have only 500 naira left. This 500 naira is not enough for me to do anything tangible. But if
I'm going to stake it on this. Yeah.
I'm going to win 5 million with 500.
I'm telling you, there's a guy that won 11 million one time now.
Yeah.
11 million. I think the company didn't want to pay him and everything. The guy screamed blue murder and they paid him and stuff like that.
So honestly, we are only privileged. And by privilege, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about information.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen things, you know how stocks work, you know these things can be volatile, you understand what volatility is.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why you're like, okay, no, I'm not going to invest. But if all you've known in your life is the fast lane, the hustle mentality, a lot of Nigerians have that hustle mentality. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing when you are focused and you're doing things legally. But when you take that hustle mentality into things that are not so legal or appear to be legal, because these people, look at the pictures now. Look at the caliber of people that were affected.
Exactly.
Do you understand? You will see somebody that even looks like he's a pastor in a church.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was just riffraffs.
Yeah.
You will see educated people that were affected.
No.
Time.
My friend, before the crash, my friend who owns a boutique, was telling me, said, this is it. I said, what is this? I said, what are you? Why are they trading? He said, no, that even AI will do the trading for. I said, what are you trading though? What are you doing?
Exactly.
What service are you providing to get this margin every freaking day?
Yeah.
So I mean, of course, it's a Ponzi scheme. They use other people's money to pay other people.
Exactly.
And everything. And when they get past the equilibrium where the amount of money that they're getting, you understand, gives them that profit, they say, okay,
they cash out.
Let's do it now, because if we make other payments, we're going to lose. So they just take it and go.
And they played the long game. They've been around for a while, according to what I heard. It wasn't
the long game.
It wasn't like, oh, they just started this month and then the next month, because people want to observe.
Oh, they've got a building and everything.
Do you understand?
But there's a Nigerian company. There's a Nigerian company that used to do trade or stuff. That company just disappeared into thin air. Nobody's talking about them.
And then where are the regulatory bodies? So before you get an office, you must get some sort of permits. Don't they pay tax?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but with all of that, the funny thing, like you said, it's the human factor. A lot of people don't read terms and conditions. A lot of people don't follow up on that stuff.
The fine print.
Exactly. They already see people profiting from this.
And
that get
way.
rich quick mentality.
Exactly.
I already know somebody that can testify. Hero Daniels made this amount from this activity. Why can't I? I go in and I start making a certain amount. By the time they meet micro penis now, they'll now cheat. They'll now cheat him out, and then he now loses. So he's the end game. You get me?
that was funny.
And that's insult upon injury, because not only has micro penis, not only does he have a micro penis, I mean, he has micro earnings from the scheme.
Wow.
Okay.
So it starts somewhere where they gain, and then they now use you as the end
And then
game.
the situation of the country is not even helping matters.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm not going to lie.
Things are
So
tough.
people are just trying to survive.
Exactly.
So of course we blame them. They should have known better. But at the same time, I think we should also feel a level of empathy towards them.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do feel that. I always feel it's like I tell people that I don't ever gamble.
Are very big on that.
I don't ever gamble. I've had the worst experiences. It's almost like if the weather report says it's going to rain heavily, the moment I put money on it, it's not going to rain.
It's going to be sunshine.
Yeah. So I always want to know how things work. And that's why I feel people need to be a bit more careful. Yes, we do sympathize with you, but at the same time, it's not magic. When it comes to investments,
here's the sad thing. It will happen again.
Of course
it
and
will
again
happen
and again and again.
They're only going to come up with better strategies.
Exactly. Better names.
To allay your fears and say, hey, the other one, this is the real thing. Even the people that are doing it will say, see, this is not like CBX. This is the real one.
There was a list of all the Ponzi schemes that have happened since.
I mean,
there was
20 years.
so many in the 90s.
Yes.
One guy called Umana or something like that. you know, man.
So it's been happening.
It's been happening.
And it will not stop happening.
Yeah.
That's the truth. You just need one good motivational speaker.
Yes.
To come and aspire and inspire.
And
talking about motivational
aspire
speakers.
to Maguire.
Our next spitfire is about a Nigerian man who paid 1.3 million for rent, but was surprised after discovering that his actual rent was 500,000 naira. The caretaker had inflated the rent from 500,000 to 1.3 million naira without the landlord's knowledge. The landlord recently visited the property, and that was how they all found out that they were paying more than 100% above what they should be paying.
Yeah.
Now,
serves the landlord right.
It serves the landlord right. What about the tenants?
The tenant?
Yes.
Well, the tenant is blameless, but it serves the landlord right because
They're blameless, but to an extent, they could afford it. So they were paying.
No.
I don't think
you get
that's
to
the
a point
case.
where you see a house that is closest to what you require.
Exactly.
And you've been house hunting for months. You see it and you say, okay, you know what? How much? But this is the expense. And besides, there are people who can pay that stuff, who can pay for the house.
Conveniently.
They'll pay for it. Look at houses now, even the price of houses to buy. A house in where? Osaka, 600 million. I'm like, 600 million? Why? You see the house like that, standing like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Just like zoom and everything. Then they just put all those LED lights that are entrenched in the refines of those POPs. Just trying to make it blah, blah, blah. And just 600 million.
Wow.
600 million, really?
That's why Scotty Guma is going after them. So there's this dude on Instagram.
I love that dude.
He calls them out. Real estate. He will call your brand name.
And I'm sure those people have been getting in touch with him to tell him to stand down.
Yeah.
Because it's causing problem. I like what he's doing. Because 600 million. How do you even
outrageous.
start?
Yeah.
You know, before we used to have a middle class. Now middle class don't exist.
No, at all.
It's either you're rich or you're poor. There is no in between.
And it's quite sad. I do know that the House of Assembly is trying to do something about it. They're trying to pass.
But they own the houses now.
Yeah, but they're trying to pass a bill that creates a bit more
right.
Regulation.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But there's need for regulation.
There is need
in the housing
based on
industry.
indices from the economy. You cannot just start putting. I know there are some places that are highbrow, but I mean, 600 million at Osaka, London is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Yes, it is ridiculous. Even if the house is
Well,
floating
maybe it's
in
the
the sky.
London.
The London effect. Even
No,
if
they were confused. They thought it was the real London. You understand? So the developer was like, okay.
Okay.
In London, indeed. All right, so we take a quick break. When we return, we face our main topic for tonight, and it's going to be about the nice guy phenomenon. We have nice guys in the house, I think. When we return, the Black Table continues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crimes of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
The nice guy phenomenon, where men prioritize being overly accommodating to women, can hinder romantic success due to a perceived lack of assertiveness and a focus on pleasing others rather than building genuine connection. This can lead to a lack of attraction and a perception of being weak or needy. It's important to distinguish between nurturing behavior and being overly accommodating, as the latter can often leave a man feeling unheard and unfulfilled in a relationship. Are men being taken advantage of for being nice? Now, that's the question that we're putting across today. But before I do that, I'm going to just go straight to the point and ask you guys a few questions, starting from Gang. Gang, do you think you're a nice guy?
I'm a very nice guy.
What was that all about?
That sounded funny.
I'm a very nice guy.
Yeah.
With boundaries.
Yeah, with boundaries. And I like the fact that I settled down when I was a nice guy, because if it was today and I had not settled down, there wouldn't be any nice guy.
No. Wait. How come you settled down when you are a nice guy? You are still settled down. Yeah. Then what changed? Because
there's a conflict,
Because here's the thing, I've my friends, family members that have also, living their lives and seeing what they're going through, seeing the experience.
Mazino.
No, well, him and some other people like you. So seeing what people are going through, and even in this modern day and era, when I hear certain stories, I'm like, seriously? People are actually looking for bad boys to that extent?
Oh.
It's crazy. Even girls that really call themselves baddies to an extent. It's another story to tell.
Exactly.
So I'm like, the nice guys carry last syndrome is apparent. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Okay,
so that's why I'm happy I settled
is like
when
the
I
poster
settled.
child for a nice guy.
Yeah.
Even his smile says, I'm nice. I'm nice.
It's not nice. Wait, you believe that smile?
No, I said poster child. Remember, this is the same guy that identifies with us also.
Okay.
Things, but he's like the poster child for nice guys. I saw the video you did with the lady that you were trying to propose to, the Indian thingy. Yeah,
Yes.
and that was a nice guy thing going on.
No, I feel like men should be nice guys. We should try as much as possible to accommodate these women.
All right,
even though they've
stop. The question is, are you a nice guy?
Yes, I am a nice guy. I believe men should be nice guys because the masculinity sometimes our testosterone,
right?
biologically. Men are not wired to be nice guys because, it is in a man's nature to protect, to lead. And sometimes, that could mean being very territorial. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying now, because of the world we live in and because we need to accommodate everybody, we need to sort of, dilute it a little bit. You know what I mean? All those testosterone, just dilute it a little bit. Be more accommodating.
Okay.
Wow.
That sounds like a pitch, yeah?
Sarcasm at its best. Sarcasm.
So, Frank, I'm not going to ask you the same question.
Let me tell you, let me lead you to one article I saw on, the formidable news outlet, Instablog. Now, let me tell you something. It intrigued me. The topic was, what is that red flag that you admire in the opposite sex? And the question was channeled to women.
Oh, okay.
Although I know I'm of the school of thought that men shouldn't be nice. Well, shouldn't be nice all the time. You shouldn't be a simp. But the answers I got furthered my resolve that men should not even be nice at all.
Okay.
Women were answering. Do you know what I saw?
No, what did you see?
The one I saw is, I like it when my man tells me, I don't want to hear, you see, I don't want to repeat myself again. When they tell you something, he says, he puts his foot down, say, turns her on. I don't want to repeat myself. Others say that, and it is unbelievable, they say that when their man whacks them, not like extremely, but shows power, that there's some strange thing going on in the minds of these women that you're trying to be nice to. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but a majority of women don't like nice guys. They think they like nice, good guys. They want bad guys that are nice to them sometimes.
Oh.
But I also feel like the reason for that is you can trace it to how they grew up.
Okay,
I feel like
upbringing. Okay, go ahead.
So, typical Nigerian family. Typical Nigerian family, at least the generation before, my father's generation, right? There was this sense there was an absolute authority that the fathers had.
That's it.
So, as a girl child, you've watched your father say, hey, I don't want to hear it again.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yes.
My word is final, right? So you have psychologically wired your future male counterparts to be like your father, even though you don't like how your father acted.
Yeah, but you see your father as an authority, someone who's in control.
It's a psychological thing. So it's now passed down, and as much as they don't want it, as much as they don't like it, when they now meet the person that really behaves how they want him to behave, because of that psychological wiring that they've had as a child.
They're not comfortable. So they want that character from
that father figure.
That thing.
I've heard ladies say that, they would not respect such a man that does not command that kind of authority. However, they'll still say, no, I don't want a man that will be commanding me. So it's more or less like, what exactly do you want? So you want a nice guy on paper. You want a man that is emotionally intelligent. You want a man that ticks all your boxes, and God gives you that same man that is willing to roll the floor
for you and worship the ground you walk on.
And worship the ground you walk on.
And put his jacket on a puddle so that you can walk across.
But you're like, he's too nice.
Gang, just before we came live, I remember Frank telling us about the Kaka, the Brazilian football player.
You know Kaka now.
And what his ex-wife said about him being too nice.
You know Kaka, handsome dude. The guy is Brazilian, but he looks like a handsome Indian
one of the most celebrated football players in the world.
Footballers in Italy, they told him they'll burn his house if he goes to Man City. They love him that much. And crowds just sat outside his house, so he didn't go. They love him, cherish him. He's a national treasure both in Italy and Brazil. He's tall, handsome. He still looks like the footballer we used to know. No, I mean 8%.
He hasn't aged that badly.
He hasn't eaten right and everything. His wife, and whenever he scores a goal, he removes his shirt. I belong to Jesus. Now, his wife divorced him. Tell why. She says he's too good.
He's too good. He's such a nice guy.
That was the reason.
No, it's that.
It's
he's a good guy. Too good. He's too good. On Twitter, one day, one girl said, I want a guy who's tall, dark, handsome, he's rich. He doesn't easily fly off the handle, doesn't get angry easily. He provides for me, worships the ground that I walk on. He's available for me emotionally, physically, and otherwise. He is so altruistic. He abandons all his work just to make sure he caters to all my whims and caprices and blah, 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 and everything. And she said, where can I find such a man? Somebody answered, he is seated at the right hand of God the Father.
Nice response.
But the irony is Kaka was that guy.
Yes. And that's just a very good example of what we're talking about
because
today.
Here's the thing.
Gang, have you ever been a victim of the nice guys
No, I have.
phenomenon?
I have when, in my single days, when I was such a nice guy that some of my female friends at the time were more attracted to some of my friends that were bad boys. So I almost was like an escort, putting them into the hands of those bad boys because I was treating them too nice. Now, this is the issue I have. Now, a lot of women are attracted to alpha males, so to speak. They want that alpha male persona.
But who is an alpha male? Let's even define that.
That's what he was talking about.
That's the attribute he was talking about.
Fully in control.
The man will be like, hey, what did you say to me? What did
Yeah.
you say to me? You know, and stuff like that.
Exactly. So it's women that actually term if you're a simp or not based on how you're treating them and the things that they're doing. Now, here's the funny thing. Women will always test a man.
But why?
Do you understand?
Yeah.
To an extent, it's almost psychological that they want to test the level of your manhood. When you give in too quick, too early, you're almost like a simp. when you stand strong and you don't let them have their way, they now see that they cannot ride you. Once a woman can ride you, she starts losing a certain level of respect.
They can ride you somehow. But
well, that kind of ride is a different...
I know you were thinking of it. I saw it in your eyes.
But when a woman can push your buttons to that extent and you let her have her way...
Right. You guys started it. I mean, you started it. I mean...
You shouldn't have said that.
With the micro penises.
But I also believe that it's left for us to rewrite the story.
Yeah.
Rewrite the story of what an alpha male should be, because I believe in balance, you know. Sometimes I feel because I'm very close to a lot of women.
Yes, we know that. We think clearly. We know that.
I'm very close to a lot of women. So because I spend so much time with women, I think to a certain extent, I might understand them. Not totally, because you can never absolutely understand a woman. It's impossible, right?
To what extent do you understand them? Tell me.
So to a certain extent, I think I understand their psyche. I understand where they're coming from. I understand how they've had to adapt. Right? So I think I was having this conversation with my brother, and I'm like, when we were growing up, we used to see our father like the bad guy, and we saw our mother as this very innocent, sweet, never hurts a fly kind of woman.
Yeah.
Now growing up, we now realize that my mom was very tactical. You know?
Very manipulative.
Very exactly.
You're going to be in trouble.
So women have had to, over the years, adapt.
Yeah, and find new ways.
Find new ways to get what they want.
Exactly.
You know, and because I understand that, you know, and then the people I'm very close with, I understand that, okay, I think genuinely, it's okay to be nice. There just has to be a balance. You know, don't be nice to the point that you lose yourself. You are not Jesus. I've seen people that have sacrificed literally almost their lives.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like they've sacrificed their entire life because I just want to get it right. I don't want to be that guy. You know, a lot of people have made the resolution, I don't want to end up like my father. I don't want to end up like my mom. I don't want to end up like this. So there's this particular figure in their lives that have set a bad precedence, and they don't want to be like that guy. So in the process of not trying to be like a particular person, they now push themselves and they lose themselves.
Exactly.
You know, so I think it's okay to be nice. It's genuinely okay to be nice. And I feel like women have also gone through a lot, right from the time they're not even allowed to drive.
And that's why we started something recently called Woman of the Week, which will be taken shortly. Whereby on every edition of the Black Table, we'll celebrate a woman who is doing exceptionally well in the field. And today's Woman of the Week is Nkiru Kikiachuku. She is a fashion entrepreneur, creative director, and advocate for accessible luxury in African fashion. And she's the creative director
of the week.
Zephans and Co.
One of the qualifications I see is that they must be hot.
Oh yeah, she is. She is very beautiful.
She is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a leading Nigerian ready-to-wear fashion entrepreneur. Our brand is known for its elegant, high-quality designs that blend African heritage with modern aesthetics. Our work focuses on making stylish, sophisticated clothing accessible to women and not compromising on quality or affordability. Now, she is someone I worked with for about 2 years, and she's just an amazing person. And her story is one of the stories that will inspire young people out there, and women especially. And there's a reason why we're doing Women of the Week now, just to make women understand that as much as we're men, we see them, we identify with some of their struggles, some of their pain, and some of their achievements and qualifications.
And also because the Black Table, there's a lot for them to learn about men as well. And to understand that we do this show not just for men, but for everyone as well.
Yeah, for everyone.
I love that.
And we're very inclusive, people with micro penises and stuff like that. We're very inclusive.
Size doesn't matter here.
Joke of the week. Size doesn't matter here. Okay, so there are other traditions we do, which is we have just the tip, which Frank will be helping us with. It's just a tip. It's a feedback. It's just a feedback on everything we've talked about, and then we'll do Toast of the Week, and then we'll wrap up the show. So Frank,
so you want Frank to give you just
not give me you, the viewers.
No, it's okay. Yeah, they have moved to you. You know, I was warning you. Did you know what to hear?
No, I'm wondering why I just said micro penis and they said just a tip. I'm wondering why.
Okay, let's just say it's an advice to the viewers out there.
Okay, based on what we're talking about, or
exactly based on everything
we talked about. Can I ask one question before Frank gives us his tip?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean that like.
Well, I'm not the one with the micro penis.
Well,
you're not the one going to the restroom with him.
I'm telling you.
Like, why are two dudes going to the restroom?
I don't understand.
Villain Daniels.
One guy followed me into the bathroom. I want a selfie. I said, step away before I knock you the fuck out. What are you talking
Frank, you need
about?
to be more liberal. You need to open.
In the bathroom. I said, my friend, let's go outside.
You're lucky Trump is president.
He looked at me.
Why can't we do
What's wrong? What's wrong with this? I said, this is the bathroom, please.
So my question was this. If chivalry is dead, who killed it?
Women, I think.
Women, right?
Okay.
Because that's the thing we're talking about. That's the basis of what we're talking. Yeah. You know, because,
we'll never really know.
Opening doors. So. Do you know, I was in New York, 5th Avenue, one restaurant opened. So I was going in, my grandmother really taught me how to be very nice to women. And so I opened the door. I saw 3 beautiful women coming in. So I was at the threshold of the door. I opened the door, I held it open, and they passed by. Instead of saying thank you, they go, wow, they still open doors for women in New York?
Wow.
Wow. No, thank you.
They were shocked.
So am I going to open another door in New York? Not that I do it to expect thanks, but it's very disheartening to see that.
That was the response you got.
Yeah, that was the response I got. I mean, there should be an exception to the rule. So I feel chivalry was killed by women. I feel so. Because if they appreciated some of those things, because some women would think, even pull or there, even pull chair for me. Please.
Some of them will say, oh, so cute.
No. Man, you're so far distant.
I still open doors though.
You still no. I do.
You are disqualified.
No. I do.
So let me not let you hit. I open doors for everybody.
No.
Listen to me. If I'm going through a door and somebody is following me, I really don't know who's behind me. But I hold the door open because somebody is coming.
So the last time you went on a date with Olamide, did you open the door for him?
I've never gone on a date.
That's not the narrative.
I've never gone on a date with Olamide.
That's not the narrative.
But
okay,
I've opened the restroom door.
So don't do that. He only goes to the restroom.
So you know what? I think that was
restroom door.
just the tip. Thank you very much for giving us. Yes.
He's my hero, just in case you're wondering. Mr. Daniels.
Oh, wow.
He's my black table hero.
Okay, so the tip I have is directed to women, just because someone is.
Who else would your tip be directed to?
No, it could be directed to men. It's the black table.
Okay.
Yeah. Do I know your program better than you?
What am I drinking that's making me?
Well, I know. I hope methylated spirit wasn't added. But anyhow, I'm trying to say that this is for women just because someone, like Hero said, women go through stuff, but men go through stuff too. Mm-hmm. So before women think of a guy that is nice, they should learn to look at it closely and analyze and find out what the men went through too. So if a guy is being nice to you, not that he's desperate to have your attention, maybe that's what his grandmother taught him, to be respectful to women. Yeah. So they shouldn't take it for granted when somebody is nice. Yeah. A nice person can also be your soul. It's just like they're saying that my soulmate should not be nice. A soulmate should be a bad guy that is nice sometimes to me and all that. So just because someone is nice, don't deprecate them, don't look down on them, and just enjoy it, because that guy is probably one in a million, because many guys wouldn't do that. And just enjoy it and know that it comes from a place of, hey, this is how I was raised to treat women, and I'm treating you because I think you're special.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That wasn't the tip. That was the entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the whole kit and caboodle.
I feel very, very violated.
Wow. At this point, we'll do the toast of the week.
He's used to micro. What can we say?
Wow.
Hero, so you'll be giving us the toast of the week. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. What are we toasting to?
We're toasting to all the beautiful women
before
watching the black table.
This guy.
You know I love you all.
This guy.
I'm pro women anytime, any day. Please ignore the things they've said, please.
You know, pro is short for prostitute.
Oh!
I just thought you should know.
All right, at this point, we need to say good night. Thank you very much to you men
I just thought you should know.
for being very seasoned. Yes, that's all I can say. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we'll see you same time, same station next week. Do have a beautiful weekend and good night.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director